Hi again, this is Broccoli Propaganda, and in this video we're going to talk about how to lose weight without portion control or calorie counting. Basically how to lose weight without a diet. So in this video we're just going to go through some of the principles that I follow. Principle number one is remember that not every calorie is equal. And I've made a separate video about this where I mentioned why counting calories is pointless, so go check that out. But in short, not every calorie is equal. The source of the food is extremely important. So when you are planning your meals, it's important to look at fiber-rich foods and foods that are low or medium in glycemic load. And I made another video about fiber and another video about glycemic load, so go check that out. The second thing is you can lose weight quite fast if you eat food which is lower calorie density, such as fruits and vegetables, because they consist like 80% or sometimes 90% of water. Foods that have low calorie density is usually all plant foods except refined, processed foods such as like olive oil or any processed food. And so actually on this diet you can lose like 7.8 kilos in 21 days. Why so specific? Because they have done studies to confirm that, and that was an average of what people lost. It's quite impressive. I mean, if you actually need to lose more weight, usually you lose even more. This was done in a study called Hawaiian study, and people that were participating in the study, they could eat as much as they wanted. So basically there was full buffet and they could just eat as much food as they wanted, but they continued to lose weight. Why? Because this food was high in fiber, it was like mostly fruits, vegetables, whole grains. It might be difficult for you to switch to something like this right away, so instead maybe just start adding lower calorie density food in your diet, such as add just more vegetables, more beans, more legumes. Third principle is do not reduce portion size, but just remove the olive oil or just like any butter or oil. Just stop cooking with oil or butter and instead start cooking with bouillon or water. There's a lot of videos out there on the internet how to cook oil-free. I must say that when I stopped cooking oil-free, I just started to shed this really difficult fat to lose, you know, the cellulite fat, and it just started to kind of go away, which was pretty amazing. So if you want to get some results, remove the oil from when you cook, and this is going to be already a huge deal because 1 spoon of oil is like 120 calories. And again, I'm not looking into calories when I'm planning my meals, not at all. I just kind of know in the top of my head that foods like olive oil or butter, they have extremely high amount of calories per pound. What else you can do is to reduce fat from your diet, and a lot of those who are really into keto diets is gonna switch off at this moment, and that's fine. But fat is really what's stopping you from losing weight. So what are the foods that are high in fat? Everything that is processed food, then meat, dairy, like milk products, cheese especially, as already mentioned, like butter and olive oil. But please be careful and don't start buying like fat-free products, like fat-free yogurt or fat-free cookies or whatever, because what the food industry actually does is that in order to maintain the attractive taste of the product, they just add more sugar. So you're just gonna do yourself a bad favor because you're just gonna end up gaining weight because of the sugar content in the food. Another principle is, of course, choose the food that is not processed and doesn't contain sugar, and it goes back to what we already talked about, but food that is high in sugar will make your diet really like a high glycemic load diet, and I already talked about this in my other video, why that's not good for your appetite control. Then another principle is negative calorie, and what does it mean is like eating something before your meal that's going to make you eat less afterwards. So for example, the foods that are known to create this negative calorie is like a green apple, for example. Before the meal, you would the participants in studies, they ate 300 calories less at their next meal if they ate an apple, a green apple. Or what I sometimes do, I eat like some spinach. But again, if you eat spinach, don't eat it in the form of like spinach salad with like store-bought sauce, because the store-bought sauce will have a lot of fat and sugar in it. What I do is just take some hummus, mix it with some warm water to create like, or with some lemon to create this like sauce consistency. And even though hummus is also a fat, but it's much healthier fat than what if you would add like some olive oil into it. And then I pour this hummus mix into my salad, into my spinach salad. And if you add some chickpeas to it, then you actually killed two problems at the same time, because then you're adding the fiber to it as well, because beans are really high in fiber, and you're kind of killing two birds in one stone. And then you will eat less pasta if you eat pasta of sorts or whatever food you're eating. Another principle that I follow is drink water before meals. I don't always do that. I know that is a really good rule because, again, you will consume like 22% less afterwards. But I must say it's not always possible, but it's quite a good rule to remember. And whenever you can, just drink water throughout the day as much as possible, because sometimes our body is sending us a hunger signal when actually we are just thirsty. So drink first a glass of water before you kind of indulge in this buffet. The last tip I would say is just stick to whole foods. So like nuts instead of nut butter, and apple instead of apple juice. I already talked on this channel about how calories are being absorbed depending on whether they have fiber in it or not, and how liquid calories are not absorbed in the same way as solid calories. So you can check it in my channel. And if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to it if you want to see more of videos. I'm gonna soon make a video on my weight loss journey. Stick around if you want to see it. Thanks so much, and bye.